On this episode of the Hanford Insider, we'll get a chance to visit with the new superintendent of the Pioneer School District, John Raven. Rob will give you a look at some of this week's community events, and I'll be back with your sports report. This is the Hanford Insider for Monday, March 23rd.
Welcome to the Hanford Insider Podcast, your inside look at the people, places, and stories that make Hanford such a special place to live, work, and explore. I'm your host, Rob Bentley. From downtown happenings to local history and community voices, we're bringing you the best of Hanford straight from the insiders. So let's get started. In community news this week, congratulations to Hanford Police Chief Stephanie Huddleston, who is recently featured on KC24's Remarkable Women series. You can watch the feature on their website at yourcentralvalley.com. Her first interview on the Hanford Insider podcast back on February 4th, 2024, remains one of the top episodes I've ever posted. Check it out on my website at hanfordinsider.com. Congratulations to Jillian Rogers for being selected as Miss Kings County 2026. Selected as Miss Kings County Outstanding Teen was Kaylee King. Congratulations to both of these young women who will go on to represent us in the Miss California pageant. The Hanford City Council met last Tuesday. In the afternoon study session, they heard the Winter Wonderland final report. The event netted $48,000 that will be reinvested into park improvements. We'll hear more about that from Brad Albert next week. They also reviewed plans for having on-site fuel at the Hanford Airport once again. In the evening study session, they decided to move forward with an additional property purchase agreement of property along 6th Street to add to the land available for the new public safety building at the corner of 7th and Harris Streets. Finally, they had a chance to hear about a mid-year amendment to add an additional building inspector to the city staff. We hope to hear a complete report soon in the City Council update from council members, which they post on social media and I repost here on my channels. Let's take a look at this week's community calendar. The newly established Kings County Arts Council will hold their next meeting Tuesday, March 24th at 6:30 p.m. in the Patty Dance Studio located at 123 West 7th Street in downtown Hanford. The next Hanford Council Connect will be held on Tuesday, March 25th at 5:30 p.m. in the Hanford Mall Food Court. Mayor Mark Kyrus and City Manager Chris Tavares will be there to answer your questions. The Hanford Mall Spring Carnival runs through March 29th. The Carnegie Museum of Kings County's 2026 exhibition, Building Kings County, is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The museum is located at 109 East 8th Street in downtown Hanford. Learn more at carnegiemuseumofkingscounty.org. The Kings Players production of The Vultures is now playing. For more information, visit kingsplayers.org. And they're already holding auditions for their next production, I Shot Jennifer Lopez. Those will be held on March 23rd and 24th. The play was written by Cricket Daniel, who grew up here in Hanford and is a Hanford High School graduate. Visit their website for more information about auditions. Sierra Pacific High School will be hosting the championships of the South Valley Winter Arts Association competition on Saturday, March 28th and Sunday, March 29th. If you have an event coming up, large or small, and you'd like some help getting the word out, let's work together. Send your information to hanfordinsider@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to get a complete calendar of events. It's the most comprehensive community calendar available. Today on the Hanford Insider Podcast, we're talking about the future of education right here in our community. And joining us now is Superintendent John Raven from the Pioneer Union Elementary School District. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
It's great. Hey, Pioneer schools have long been known for strong academics, dedicated teachers, and especially a deep connection to the families that they serve. And we'll talk about what's happening in the district today and the opportunities for students in the future and why education plays such an important role in the future of Hanford. So, John, if I remember right, you started as a teacher in Hanford Elementary, yeah?
Yes, that's correct. I started my teaching career teaching fourth grade at Jefferson Elementary in Hanford, which then led me to Pioneer in 2000 to become a teacher there in fourth grade.
And that was at Pioneer Elementary. Frontier Elementary wasn't even built yet.
That is correct. It was at Pioneer Elementary School. And at that point, the middle school, Pioneer Middle School, didn't exist either. It was all one campus.
Then you had the opportunity to open up a brand new school near 13th and Grangeville. Then it was called Frontier Elementary. So tell us about the experience of opening that school.
So it was kind of a unique experience becoming a teacher in Pioneer. I moved up to be the assistant principal at Pioneer Elementary School. And then when they opened the middle school, I had 2 years, a year and a half roughly, to be the assistant principal there at middle school. So when the opening came up for Frontier Elementary to become a principal, I thought that was a good opportunity to put in. I was able to start that in 2008, being the founding principal of Frontier, and spent the next 10 years in that position.
So tell us about your path to the superintendent position.
Well, after 10 years as principal, we're a smaller district, so I was looking to expand my wings and further my leadership opportunities. So I ended up taking a position in Central Union in Lemoore and was there a few years, transitioned to be the assistant superintendent at Lemoore Elementary School District. And I got to the opportunity to apply and ultimately got the position as superintendent back here at Pioneer. So it's kind of a full circle for me.
Yeah.
In that being here as a teacher, as well, having my own children go through Pioneer and attend through 8th grade, and now having the opportunity to come back and serve in this role is something that I think is pretty unique and special.
Does education run in your family? How did you first become involved in education? What inspired you to become a teacher?
That's a good question. When I started my career growing up as a student myself, it was not a very positive experience. I was a very challenging student. I had a lot of energy and didn't know how to channel that energy. So I can relate to a lot of our students growing up. And actually, when I went to college, the one thing I thought I did not want to be was a teacher. I ended up fighting it and had to spend an extra year in college because I knew I didn't want to be a teacher. And then finally took an intro to teaching class and knew that's what I was meant to do. There was no fighting it. And so moved forward from there. I do have teachers, cousins, lots of relatives that are in the field of education, some locally as well, some educational leaders within the county. So that's always nice too. But it was one of those things that it was a very deep personal choice that I made and knew that education, working with students and families was what I was meant to do.
Well, I know you're going to do a great job here at Pioneer Union Elementary School District. I've already heard lots of great things about your leadership and the way things are going. But I know that it comes with a lot of challenges, not only just a new position for you, but also the challenges that being the superintendent in this district is because of the growth of Hanford. And I know that that's a huge issue. So let's start with that. I know there's a lot of neighborhoods going in around town, and they're definitely affecting the enrollment trends in the district. So what are your plans for that? What does the board see as the future of Pioneer as far as facilities?
Well, absolutely. Being a new superintendent, this is my first year in a superintendency. There's quite a learning curve. Once again, though, knowing that I had been in the district before and it was kind of coming home, a lot of the people that I work with, teachers, even here in the district office, I had worked with in the past. So that made it a little more comfortable. Working with the board is a new experience, and I can say I have a wonderful, supportive board that I could not ask for better to allow me to grow during this first year to really implement their vision for the district. So meeting with each of them individually in the beginning of the year, find out what their priorities are, and go from there. With the growth in Hanford, there absolutely is growth, and it's experiencing growth over time, but I think in the next few years, we're going to see a real influx. So we are planning in our district boundaries. I'm currently working with a developer to purchase land for a new school. By the time they have their development done, we're talking about 900 units. So we know it will be there. So navigating all of that is new, but wanting to ensure that we're in line with that development as students come, we're prepared to accept them and fulfill our duty of educating them. So really right now, there's a lot of planning going on behind the scenes, a lot of meetings, finances, figuring out what's going to work and what the needs of our district are going to be in the near future.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Definitely, it is an exciting time for Hanford and the Pioneer District. What are some programs that you're especially proud of that are going on, or maybe programs that you have lined up for the future?
It's a great question. I always love to brag about the districts. You know, all three of our Pioneer schools have received the California Distinguished School Award at some time or another and more than once. Our schools have been recognized for character and civic education programs. We have a strong focus on early literacy and laying a foundation for our students, both academically and socially and emotionally. And we try to provide opportunities in leadership, athletics, music, and extracurricular activities as well, and expanding our student services and supports to meet the ever-changing needs of our students. So I think we do a good job with that. We have counselors at each of our sites, nurses at each of our sites, and really the core of what makes our district special is really the people. And when I say people, I'm talking about our staff, our teachers, our custodians, our district office staff, everybody, our bus drivers, as well as our students and our families. And really building and working to strengthen that is a priority for me, the culture, the connection with families. There are certain things that make Pioneer special, and that's one of them. It had always been a strong relationship with families, having students and families that feel supported and feel good coming onto our campus. So everything that we're doing in the leadership at each of our sites know my expectation and what I want for our district. And really that is to provide that strong educational foundation for our students. We have tremendously dedicated teachers, provide a safe environment, and really help our students and families reach their potential. So having the supports in place to do that is really important. And I think that that's been a focus for some years and will continue to be a focus as we move forward in the future.
Having worked in the district, I know that technology is a very important piece of education these days. And I know that there's been a lot of investment in the infrastructure of the internet within the schools and the county system. And can you tell us a little bit about maybe the ways that you use technology in the classroom and also to communicate with your families?
Absolutely. You know, we're in an age that technology is a powerful tool, but the most important part of education will always be that relationship between the teachers and the students. But in doing so, we want to prepare our students for a future that we don't know what it's going to look like at this point. With the evolution of technology moving so quickly, we try to keep up and prepare them for a world that may look very different than what it looks like today. So for us, it is a priority. We are continually looking for things from just continued facility improvements as far as installing cameras to ensure the safety of all of our students, which is being done this year. We're expanding technology and safety systems across the district, even to our buses, with a new bus boss program that goes out to let our parents know where students are on the bus. Definitely using our student information systems to get information to parents, our websites, each school, as far as social media as well. Each school has that as well as the district. So really trying to keep our parents connected to the school so that they know where to go to find the information that they need is really important. We also utilize a lot of technology in classrooms. These students are technology natives. They've grown up in a world that is very different from the world that I grew up in. They were are used to using technology at a level at which it's just natural for them. So for us in education to keep up with that and incorporate it in ever-changing ways to keep our students engaged in what's happening and use it as a tool to improve our instruction is always something that we strive to do.
John, we're going to get real here for just a few moments. We read in the newspapers and online about student behaviors in the classroom, on the school bus, on the way home from school. And Pioneer is no stranger to those headlines. And we know that the district has put some things in place to kind of improve student behaviors. And I'd like to hear a little bit about the strategies that you have for that.
Absolutely. Behavior is always a concern in any school. And our priority is always being to provide a safe and supportive school for all of our students. Having shared a little bit about myself for a moment, I was a student that struggled with behavior. I had on a report card, Johnny has ants in his pants, or I can see that he'd be a lot of fun at the beach. He's not so much fun in the classroom. And when I reflect upon that and I look at some of the students that I can really relate to, it's really working with the tools that we have to ensure that our teachers were seeing beyond the behavior of our students. So often, students can be seen as that behavior and the student gets lost in that they're overshadowed by their behavior, which is usually going to be tied to a reason. Behavior is communication. We just don't always know what is being communicated, and it's our responsibility to do so, to find out what's wrong, to ensure that the student has their needs met, to build a program that they're successful in. Now, in doing so, to address that, it really is part of professional development to ensure not only that we're providing our students with what they need, but we're also providing our teachers and our staff with what they need to be successful with those sometimes challenging students. Now, that being said, this year we have partnered from the beginning with a couple of different agencies to support that and come in and provide us with parent nights, provide us and our staff with ongoing in-the-moment coaching so that they can see and get feedback on what's working and what's not working, both for the class as a whole, but also to address the needs of particular students that we need maybe some assistance to be able to support. But it's something that we address and we take very seriously. Every student has a right to an education, and we balance that by ensuring that students are heard and valued, and those that maybe struggle or have some behavioral concerns that arise, that we're there to support them, that we don't give up on those students, that they are kids, that we're not going to let that behavior determine who they are or what they are. In Pioneer, we're really laying the foundation for much more than just academic success. We lay the foundation for social, emotional success, as well as how students view themselves, whether they are good or whether something's wrong, if they are struggling to behave. We want to help them see that they can reach their potential and that we're here because we care about them and we believe in them. So I think really taking a proactive approach to behavior is what's most important, in ensuring that our teachers have that support and they feel the support as they move forward to meet the needs of our students. And it goes beyond the classroom as well. We want to connect those kids with adults on campus. That could be a custodian. It could be a librarian. Someone so that kids have someone safe at all times that they can connect with at a deeper level, which can really help to impact their behavior in a positive way. I'm hopeful as we move forward that we continue to see growth in our students, and we're providing them the lessons and the examples and the models to have appropriate behavior in all different settings of their life, whether that be at school, at home, or in public.
Well, that's great. I know you've been working very hard on that. And the perception is one thing and reality is another thing quite often as we hear. So let's close with just maybe some shout outs to your staff and people that have helped you adjust to this position and are helping keep the vision alive.
Well, I started this year at our kickoff breakfast with a theme for our year. When I applied for the position, I spoke to people. My history in the district really had people excited that Pioneer can go back to what it once was, this great district. And I really focused on, well, we can't go back in time. We can definitely carry what made Pioneer special with us as we move forward into the future. And one of those things, my theme for the year was the heart of Pioneer. And the heart of Pioneer is what truly makes this district special, and that is the people that make up our district. And when I say that, I'm talking about all of our district staff, including teachers, classified staff, but our parents and our students as well. So that heart of Pioneer is something that connection, being connected with our students, being connected with families, being connected with our community. We always have a high turnout with community nights or carnivals, that sort of a thing. And I think that's really important to know about Pioneer because we have a long tradition of very strong academics and strong relationships with families. And what makes me most proud is the people who make up this district, the true heart of Pioneer. And it's what continues to make our schools such a special place for students to learn and grow. And it's really all about the relationships that we build and the people that are within our district. So it's just an honor to be back in Pioneer. It feels like I'm coming home. I'm excited to be here and do the work that needs to be done to continue the foundation that's already been laid, to continue the great traditions within our district.
That's wonderful, John. I've said it several times already on today's broadcast, but so happy for you and so happy for the district that things are going well and you're definitely on the right path.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And now it's time for Hanford Insider Sports with Eric Bentley.
We'll start on the diamond at baseball, where a pair of teams are off to an undefeated start in league play. The Sierra Pacific baseball team, after losing their first 5 games of the year, have rattled off 5 wins in a row and are off to a 3-0 start in league play after taking down Kingsburg and Kerman last week. Both games saw crooked numbers being the difference as the Golden Bears put up 6 runs in the 4th inning of their 10-3 victory over Kingsburg and 5 runs in the 6th inning of Thursday's 6-1 win at Kerman. 3 games on the schedule this week for Sierra Pacific, starting Monday with a non-league showdown at Hanford High. So, let's talk about the Bullpup baseball team, off to a 2-0 start in league play and 4-4 overall after taking down Dinuba twice last week, 6-2 in Tuesday's game in Hanford and 5-1 in Thursday's tilt at Dinuba. After Monday's clash with Sierra Pacific, the Bullpups will play Tulare Union for a pair of midweek games. And the Hanford West baseball team split their 2 games last week. Tuesday, it was a 10-0 run rule victory over Exeter to pick up their first league win and improve to 1-1 in league. Thursday's game at CVC saw a comeback fall just short as the Huskies lost to the Cavaliers 6-5 and now sit at 4-5 overall on the year. 2 league matchups with Emmanuel and Selma await the Huskies this week. Out to softball, where it was a tough week for all 3 softball teams. The only squad to pick up a win was the Sierra Pacific softball team, going 1-2 on the week. The win came in shootout fashion, 12-11, as the Golden Bears were able to stave off a late Tulare Western surge to seal the victory. The losses came to Tulare Union and Kerman, as Sierra Pacific now sits at 2-6 on the year, with 2 non-league matchups with Lemoore and Kalinga this week. The Hanford West softball team was only in action once, but fell to Golden West 11-6 to find themselves 7-3 overall on the year. The Huskies will start next week's action at Hanford High, where the Bullpups are 4-7 overall, coming off of a 5-4 loss to the same Golden West team that the Huskies also lost to last week. We'll see who can bounce back in that crosstown matchup at Hanford High on Tuesday. As always, if you have a score report or a team update for any team in any sport at any level, you can let us know by emailing hanfordinsider@gmail.com. I'm Eric Bentley, and this has been your Hanford Insider Sports Report.
And that wraps things up for this week's show. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to show your support, You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Hanford Insider to make a donation. If you'd like to join the Hanford Insider email list, stop by my website at hanfordinsider.com to sign up for updates. You'll also get an exclusive copy of my newsletter in your inbox each week. I also need your help getting the word out about the show by liking and sharing on social media, or like most people, just telling a friend. For more information about the show, you can find this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and YouTube at Hanford Insider. And don't forget, if you have a show idea, be sure to email me at hanfordinsider@gmail.com and I'll look into it. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful week.